Hi, this is Crystal with GoGo Gaddis Travel. So, is the cheapest Carnival cruise worth it? We went on a cruise on the Carnival Radiance out of Los Angeles. This is generally one of the cheapest cruises you can find on the Carnival website. So, if you're looking for cruises, usually those Mexico sailings are going to be the cheapest ones. Click on that, and you're going to see the Carnival Firenze and the Carnival Radiance are typically the two cheapest cruises. These are out of LA, and they go to Catalina and Ensenada. So we thought, let's try it. Let's go ahead and try one and see how it goes. So in this example, I'm actually going to click on the Carnival Radiance or the Firenze, since that's the cheapest one. So if you click on that, scroll down, you're going to see usually there's one date that actually encompasses that lowest price. You just click on that booking. It's always going to be an interior room. So when we click on that, then it's going to take us to the cruise summary. So there's our dates, there's the cruise ship. This is how much it is. This price is for both passengers. It's going to be an interior, usually a deck one. And on this one, you actually even get an onboard credit of $25 per cabin. So that's great. Can't beat that. So you can see the total amount due for today's deposit and the total amount for the two guests. Really, it's a great price. But is it worth it? Now you have to think about getting to your cruise. So we flew in the night before. You can always fly in the morning of, but you do run a little bit of a risk as to if your flights get canceled, then you may miss your cruise. So we flew in the night before, and we stayed in Seal Beach. Now, Seal Beach was a little further away from Long Beach than we realized, so I would suggest that you just stay in Long Beach. But we had a great experience at this hotel. This was a Hampton Inn. We frequently stay in Hampton Inns. It's always very reliable, very clean. They have a great breakfast in the morning, and they offer lots of nice things. The bathroom was very nice, everything you need. This room was especially large. We feel like maybe it was a handicap accessible room. And there was a nice big closet, just in case you needed that to store some hanging items. They also offered soap and lotion. And in the shower, they had shower gel, conditioner, and shampoo. A couple good things about the location of the hotel is that the evening before, we were able to walk to a restaurant to have dinner. And then the next morning, we were able to walk to the beach. It was only about a mile, maybe a mile and a half walk. It wasn't your typical beach day, but we definitely enjoyed spending some time at the ocean. We ended up taking an Uber back to the hotel, then got another Uber to take us to the port. And now it's embarkation day, time to go to the port. Well, we made the cardinal mistake of embarkation day. We did not remember to bring our printed boarding passes or our luggage tags. But fortunately, we were taken care of, and these were provided for us. The Long Beach port was very nice, very organized. At this port, if you're a little early for your boarding time, I would suggest that you just step aside and wait until your boarding time and walk up at that time so that you can go in the shorter line. At one point, the interior of the Long Beach port was a sound studio, so they have some movie memorabilia around to commemorate that. Overall, the embarkation progress went smoothly. It was organized, and we really didn't wait too long. Hi, well, we're in our room, and John's back there having a little nap. We just left the port of Long Beach, and we're on our way. And we have these portholes. You see the two of them? It's kind of cool. We normally don't have a window or anything, so this came up and was available, and it's fun. I like looking out the little windows. I think it's cute. This is room 2211. So this is right at the front of the ship. So if you look at the front of the ship, you'll see that there's a few little sections that have 2 portholes. I think there's maybe 3 rooms that have this. It's a little bit of a different sized room, so it's technically a window room or ocean view, sort of like the size of a balcony room, but because it's toward the bow of the ship, a little different. But plenty of storage room, plenty of closets. I find that pretty much on every cruise ship. I think there's plenty of storage, but we don't really bring very much, so we never have any storage problems. There's the refrigerator. Some other little storage areas. We're gold members, so we get those bottles of water as a benefit. But if you're not gold, then you do have to pay for those. Got our towels for going to the pool. This room was a little different because it is basically one person room with a couch. So that couch is turned into a second bed. But this would be a great room for a solo traveler because you've just got that one bed, but then you've got so much room and you've got the couch. And of course, this is our little porthole at the looking over at the port. I thought these were kind of neat. I guess they're little doors that you can close those portholes down. This really was a nice room. There was plenty of room in that to move around. Then of course you have the standard Carnival bathroom with the shower curtain. We don't ever really have a problem with those. We just make sure and keep the shower curtain inside that little lip and don't have any flooding trouble. Lots of places to store things. Now, Carnival does not provide conditioner. It's just shampoo and shower gel. So be sure and bring conditioner if that's important for you. There it is. That's our little porthole room, and this is the view out of our porthole. It was sure fun to have a window on this trip. In general, I love the food on Carnival cruises. Honestly, on any cruise. I mean, this is the best part. You're eating your food and you're watching scenes like this go past. We love the dining room. We love the main dining room on all the cruises. We primarily eat there. I mean, this is one of the reasons, like I said, you're sitting there watching incredible views go by like this. One day while we were eating, we saw dolphins. You can kind of see them going past. It was very exciting. This was as we were leaving Catalina, and they were very active in the evening. They said in the mornings and the evenings, that's when they're super active. This is just a few of the desserts that are offered. They're wonderful, really, really good. We always enjoy it. The activities in the main dining room are a lot of fun. There's always singing and dancing, and everybody goes a little crazy, so that's great. We enjoy eating at the other venues on the ship as well. We love the pizza. We love Shack's Chicken. This was on the Carnival Radiance. They had Shack's Chicken, which was great. They also have Guy's Burgers, which is wonderful. The Blue Iguana for Mexican food. They also had the Italian restaurant on the Radiance. And of course, they always have the buffet. I am not a big fan of the buffet, but some people love it. In fact, one of the members of our group loved the buffet and went up for breakfast every day, whereas the rest of us wanted to go to the dining room. So it's great to have options. Now for entertainment and activities. The entertainment on Carnival is always pretty good. I wouldn't say it's the level of Royal Caribbean, but it is entertaining. This theater was very nice. There was plenty of room to get up, so if people needed to get up during the show, it was pretty easy to get in and out of the seating. It was nice how they brought the show out into the audience. They also used this theater for Deal or No Deal. There were places to walk and exercise, including the gym. In addition to the pools and hot tubs, there was also a ropes course with a walk the plank feature.
You gotta watch the play! Get over here! You gotta watch the play! I'm going off the boat.
One of the activities we really enjoyed was towel folding. My husband loves the towel animals and always takes pictures of them. So this time we got to learn how to make several different ones. It was very popular, well attended. We got to make puppy dogs, dinosaurs, and elephants. Another fun thing was the Dr. Seuss birthday. They had a parade for all the kiddos, and then they had a dramatization of a Dr. Seuss story. Then we all went out into the atrium. They had treats for everyone, and then they had a great big balloon drop. So this is not something I've seen on other cruise ships, so I don't know if this is specific to the Radiance or if maybe it actually was Dr. Seuss's birthday and so that's why they done something special. But it was really fun, well attended. Every kid on the ship was there. It was pretty exciting. Next was our Port of Catalina golf cart rental. Catalina was stunning, absolutely beautiful. It's a place I've always wanted to go to, and it's not really very far from the coast. I mean, I think you can just take a ferry over, but what a wonderful place to go. We decided to rent a golf cart. I think this costs less than about $200 for the four of us to share a golf cart. And there's about a 2-hour tour that you drive around the island. And there's different places where you can stop and take pictures, and there's very panoramic scenic views. You do have to take a tender in on this particular port. Honestly, it was just beyond belief stunning. This was truly beyond my expectations. I would absolutely go back, and I would probably do the same thing and rent a golf cart and go again. This video was taken near that iconic round building that you always see in the pictures of Catalina. Port Day, Ensenada, Mexico. A lot of the reviews I found about Ensenada were not super flattering, so I didn't expect a whole lot. But my sister found a walking tour that we followed. So the first place we came to was this historical museum. This was a former prison, and it had been turned into a museum. So the walk there, it was maybe a mile or two, and it was in some sort of sketchy neighborhoods, so it was okay. I mean, we were fine, but it was a little bit of, pay attention to where you are. This museum spans from prehistoric times in Mexico to the time when this was a prison. So half of the building was displays, the other half was the prison. Just a few blocks down the road, we came to a shopping area, and of course there was a McDonald's, so just in case you need to get your McDonald's hit. We saw this neat mural as we walked toward this old hacienda, which used to be a hotel and is now a convention center. It is said to be the home of the margarita. So, of course, we had to try one. So, now let's answer the question from the beginning of the video. Was this cheap cruise from Carnival Cruise Lines worth it? Well, I'd say yes and no. First of all, it was really fun. We had a great time. You get all the elements of a big cruise just in a shorter time period. But there was really barely enough time to familiarize yourself with the ship, let alone enough time to eat at all the different venues. Next, it was a little less time off of work, so if you're short on time, this might be the way to go. Ultimately, though, we ended up having to take 4 days off of work. So that was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Monday for the travel home. So really, we could have done a 7-day cruise. I mean, if we did a Sunday to Sunday cruise, we flew out on Saturday, then we could have had a longer cruise and really only taken one more day off of work. Next, I would say if you live at this port or within maybe a few hours of driving to this port, it's really a really good deal. And I think if you would watch those sales, you might even get a better deal. But if you have to fly there, by the time you count flights, hotel, transportation to and from the port, parking back home, all those things, for a few $100s more, you may as well just go on a 7-day trip. One of the people in our group extended their trip and stayed for a few more days and went to Disney and visited with their daughter. So for them, it might have made it worth it even a little more because they got some extra value out of their transportation all the way to LA. So, was it worth it? Don't get me wrong. I mean, we had a great time. We really enjoyed it, and I'm glad we went. But for all that time and effort and energy, I feel like you may as well just do a 7-day trip. Well, let me know what you think. Have you taken one of these short cruises? Did you think it was worth it? Would you do it again? Please comment below, like, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and you have a wonderful day. This is Crystal from Go Go Gaddis Travel.